Alright dudes, welcome back to the channel. Hayzink here, back with another Disgaea RPG video. So today, so that I'm not accused of being a pay-to-win snob, I'm going to do a breakdown of the new free-to-play character that will be available from the beauty pageant event. Before we dive in and do that, if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel, like the video, comment, do all that stuff. Anyway, let's go in and we'll look at the new character. Going to do what I've done before, okay? I will show some footage of this character. I don't have her at any free. Unlike midboss, I won't magically get her to any free by the time that I do edit this footage, because I'm not going to use any printies or anything like that on her. But I will at least show you some of her moves and her skills, etc. And we'll obviously break them down and go over them like we normally do, okay? So the new free-to-play character is called Rainier, and she originated in Disgaea D2. She's a former vassal of laharl's dad. I'm really bad at pronouncing laharl's dad's name. King Kerchowski, whatever, doesn't matter. Call him laharl's dad. From now on, here out on the channel, he's getting called laharl's dad, plain and simple. She was favoured for her ability as a treasure hunter, and it's said that she took great care of laharl. So obviously her and laharl have a good connection. I did say already that one of the only Disgaea games I've not really played, despite having it, and I will play it, is Disgaea D2. So other than what I'm reading about her, I can't really go into too much detail like I did with midboss, etc. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll start off by looking at her abilities, okay? Now if you watched the midboss video, I did touch on her a little bit, but this will be more going into exactly what she offers, okay? So her main ability is Treasure Guild. Monster magic weapon. Start again, shall we? Monster magic weapon wielding allies, all stats except speed plus 12%. So she gives everyone who's a spell caster a boost to their magical ability, to all their stats apart from speed. So think characters like Asbero will obviously get a boost from her. Her any1, which you will get because of the way the event is structured, is Follow Me, and that is monster allies, so all monster allies. AoE damage dealt plus 15%. That's good. That is very good. To me, that makes her a character that is useful to put on a lot of teams, okay? Because she's going to be boosting the damage they put out. We'll talk about some of those characters later on, but for now, I think that's a good reason to make sure you pick her up and at least get her to any1. Her any5 is Ice Wall, which is herself. She takes AoE damage decreased by 50%. So it's hardly going to make her tank, but it's going to make a big difference when you're smacked with an AoE attack. She's going to take 50% less damage. And her any7, which I don't know how many people are going to take a free-to-play character to any7, is called Icefield, which is magic monster weapon wielding allies, SP costs reduced by 9%. So if you get to any7, she's going to reduce SP costs for all of her characters on the team that are spellcasters. So yeah, it's good, but I just don't know how many people are going to take a free-to-play character to any7. So I don't know how many people are realistically going to see that. But I digress. Let's move on and we'll talk about what she offers with regards to character skills. Now, like I say, I will edit in at least 2 of these. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to show you the any free this time, but at least you'll see some of them. So her her level 1 is called Buccal Cones, which is a single unit attack. Starts off at SP 30, drops to 25. Rejoice for being my food. Does damage, reduces attack by 5%. Her next one is Frozen Lake, which starts at 70, drops down to 65, but it is a rank S for power, okay, so it's going to do a decent amount of damage, and it is single target. Watch out for the Ice Lake at night, attack minus 12%. Seeing that it is an S for power, you imagine it'll probably do quite a bit of damage, you know. Her any3 is an AoE. Bear in mind, if you're playing the event on global, you'll probably get this character to any3. For me to demonstrate this, I've had to use that currency that gives you the ability to buy characters from events that you missed. You only get one character, so I can only show you our any0, unfortunately. But our any3 is Dam Breaker, which is an AoE, starts at 25, drops down to 20, so it's very low cost. I've heard that some of our own people call it a reward. It's rank F for power. Not sure how much damage it's going to do. There's no debuffs or anything like that involved. And it is a water-based attack, so again, maybe it's going to be situational who that'll actually be effective against. Now this character is a magic caster, okay? So you don't need to do anything like raising up her weapon mastery on a different type of weapon, etc. She's going to get all of these things, so we will, unlike other videos, we will actually talk about the magic this time, okay? So she gets Resistance Break, which decreases the resistance of a target for 3 turns. Starts at 20, goes up to 35%. She gets another spell called Enfeeble, and this is at Mastery 9. So these two she'll just get without you having to do anything, which decreases the attack target for 3 turns. It takes attack down by 20%, going up to 35% as you level the skill. At Mastery 15, so obviously at this point you'll be investing mana to your character, okay? She gets Mega Ice, okay, which is an AoE, F for power, starts at 40, goes down to 35, uses the power of ice to deal damage tier 2. Then at 22 weapon mastery, she gets Mega Resist Break, which is basically just a better version of her first skill. Greatly decreases the resistance of the target, resistance 40 down to 55 as you level the skill. And the final one is Mega Enfeeble. Greatly decreases attack of the target for 3 turns, attack 40% down to 55%. Now, this character to me is good. I would say this is a character that I quite like. She offers a lot for free-to-play players. She's good. She's going to provide good support and good AoE damage to other characters. Like, I don't feel I need to quite go in as depth as I did on previous videos about who she would work with, because I kind of feel like we already covered that, okay? So you've got the likes of midboss, you've got the likes of Disgaea. Both of those characters have AoE attacks. She's going to massively boost the damage that they put out. Their evalities also kind of buff themselves and buff her. So she's quite effective in that way, you know. There's characters like the Mirror Cake Prinny as well, who obviously are magic based units, so she's going to buff their stats as well. So if you've brought them along so that you can have things in your team like the damage dealt to humanoids plus 12% and things along that line, she's obviously going to buff their base skills and make them a bit better at the same time. So again, I don't really feel the need to go too deep on who would be good characters to run alongside this unit, because there's just so many, you know. There's definitely so many characters that would work on a team with her. I don't necessarily know if it's a good idea to sit and run through all of them, but for example, if you wanted to take, say, I don't know, a healer onto the team with you, you've got someone along the lines of, where is she? She's here. You've got Succubus. Succubus is obviously a magic user. She's going to get a bit of a boost off of her skill. She's got a skill at level 50 called Evo Healing, so you could put her onto your team. She'll get an AoE heal. She's got a healing for your whole entire party. She'll get buffed off the stats. You could put on 3 other characters who are damage dealers, and even Succubus herself is a damage dealer if you get her to any 3, and you're going to find that this character is going to give all of them a boost to their AoE damage. She's going to boost the skills of Succubus so that you've got a healer on your squad, and the other characters like Disgaea, midboss and things like that are going to boost the rest of their skills. So I feel like she's quite versatile, and I feel that she can slot onto teams, and she is going to be useful to you, mainly because of that boost to AoE damage. I mean, it's the any one, so even if you're someone who likes to use these free-to-play characters as fodder, you only need to use one of the dupes to get her to any one, and then if you want to use the other 3 to get yourself an easier route to getting a 5-star character, then by all means do it. But at any one, I feel that this character is pretty useful and definitely worth investing in at least a little bit. So yeah, I didn't want to take as long going over this character because don't really need to make a decision of if she's worth going for or if she's worth summoning. It's a free-to-play event. You're going to grind it anyway. You're going to get your quartz out of grinding it. With the points you've got, you're going to redeem her. So there's not really much of a reason to go too deep on her. But let's just say that she is useful, she is versatile, and she will add things to your monster squads. So make sure you pick up at least a couple of copies of her, along with any printies that you're going to be getting from the event. Because generally I know a lot of people, that's your first aim. You want to get any printy hides from the free-to-play events. So once you've got them, pick up a couple of copies of Rainier. Remember, she will also be useful for the following free-to-play event, because that's the structure. You get them in one, they'll give you bonus points, and the following one, they'll also give you bonus points, and then after that, that's when you should look at fordering them, if that's what you want to do. But anyway guys, I've been Hayzink. Like I say, thanks for joining me on this video. If you want to talk about it, if you want me to think I should have maybe went a bit deeper on the free-to-play unit, let me know in the comments down below. Like I say, I don't really think there's as much point going quite as deep, because you don't need to make a decision if you're going to summon for this character or not. She's free, you should be going to get her. But let me know in the comments down below. I'll catch you on the next video, dudes. See ya.